Emergency at Hollis Hall, no spin, no delay. The chair under the general manager is burning, and the extension ink isn't fireproof. The ledger is ugly, the division record is uglier, and the patience meter inside this building is peaking red. I stopped what I was doing because this isn't background noise anymore. This is the kind of pressure that changes jobs, changes draft rooms, and changes the way a locker room hears every word from upstairs. If you thought last week's scoreline was the only alarm, you missed the bigger one. The clock on credibility is ticking louder than the play clock. Here's what we're about to do clear, fast, and ruthless. We're going to lay out exactly how the resume got here, why the extension was lined up the way it was, where the drafts hit and miss, how the trades and signings stacked into this moment, and what realistic escape routes exist in season and postseason. We'll stick to football, tape, usage, snap counts, and outcomes. Then we'll separate fact from speculation and tell you what the building can actually do next. Stay with me to the end. You'll walk out with a working plan, not a rant. You're watching Bears News Fan Report, the voice that bleeds navy and orange and doesn't hide from hard truths. If you want unfiltered Chicago football with solutions, not slogans, lock in, hit subscribe, and drop a bear down in the comments to push this into every fan's feed. Let's set the table. 4 drafts deep. 2 head coaches. A record that reads like a warning label. 15 wins, 38 losses overall. 3-17 inside the North. 36 draft picks, and not one of them stamped as a Pro Bowler yet. Last place 3 of the last 4 seasons. And on July 11th, the club tied the GM's future to the coaches with a 3-year extension through 2029. That alignment was deliberate. Stabilize the power structure. Match timelines. Give the head coach a partner on paper. But paper doesn't block edge rushers, and paper doesn't beat the Packers. When the resume looks like this, the seat gets hot no matter how long the contract runs. Start where it always starts. Talent evaluation. The GM promised to build through the draft. If that's your identity, your picks have to cash. In 2022, the top of the class offered real hope. Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker were smart bets, straight, toughness, scheme fits. Healthy, they're impact starters. But the middle and bottom third of that class is where your roster depth either hardens or leaks. A developmental left tackle was asked to grow into the franchise anchor. Instead, the early returns have been pass protection leaks at the worst moments. When a single lineman accounts for the overwhelming majority of your pressures allowed in a game, that's a problem you can't scheme around forever. Several day 3 picks never stuck, and the rotational pieces on the defensive line didn't flip drives with negative plays. That's not just misses happen. That's a pipeline issue. 2023 told a similar story with brighter flashes. Darnell Wright looks the part. Power, anchor, mean streak check. Gervin Dexter Sr. has stacked real growth pad level improving, hands more violent, plays finally finishing. But Tyreek Stevenson's baptism by fire has been rough. Quarterbacks hunted him and found explosives, and that's a confidence test as much as a technique one. Zach Pickens didn't carve a consistent role. The late mid-round swings at skill positions haven't popped enough to justify their slots. When 7 of 9 names from a class are either push or miss, you put extra load on free agency to cover holes. And that's where you end up overpaying for competence. 2024 is the hinge class, the one that will make or break the thesis. Caleb Williams is a push today by definition. He's learning NFL mud, timing, and protection calls. The flashes are real. The mistakes are rookie honest. Rome Odunze looks like Sunday electricity in the making body control, hands, competitive toughness. A rookie tackle has been a healthy scratch. That's development, not indictment, but it slows your depth plan. Torrey Taylor hasn't flipped field position like the college tape teased. Austin Booker is getting snaps and chasing growth. The theme, more questions than answers right now, which is fine in week 2 of a new era, but it leaves the GM's earlier classes. Exposed to the light. Then you look at 2025 rookies and see a shelf full of unused tools. Talent in the top 100 that hasn't seen the field in meaningful ways yet isn't a crime in September. But it adds to the perception that the draft and developed conveyor belt is stalling. Fans don't live in 2-year plans. They live in Sundays. If the kids you just bought aren't fixing Sunday, the seat warms. Now to trades. This is where the picture goes from frustrating to combustible. Chase Claypool was a swing for size and juice that turned into a black hole. Attitude, availability, and fit never aligned, and the cost was a premium pick. N'Keal Harry was a reclamation flyer that never cleared the runway. The one-year Keenan Allen experiment brought a pro's professionalism, a mentor's voice, and flashes on third down. But the chemistry and timing never became force multipliers before the calendar closed. The Carolina blockbuster? That's an open ledger. You got your shot at a franchise quarterback and a WR1 in DJ Moore, but none of it counts as won until the wins arrive. Trades aren't press releases. They're verdicts the field hands you months later. Free agency and extensions are supposed to be your stabilizers. Some were. Jalen Johnson has played like a cornerstone, extension earned, tape clean, then the injury gut punch. A veteran guard signing has been one of the rare no-doubt upgrades. Leadership, communication, anchoring chaos. Others are stuck in neutral. Tremaine Edmonds was paid to be a game swinger. The splash plays haven't snowballed into dominance. DJ Moore got real money and arrived as a WR1. Usage has been choppy in a shifting scheme. DeAndre Swift's space skills that converted into 1,300 yards of offense last year haven't been leveraged the same effect yet. Tight end money is on the books. Route concepts and red zone targets haven't always matched the paycheck. Nate Davis, between availability and performance, has been an expensive bruise. This is how you end up with a cap that looks fine on paper, but a roster that feels short on weekly certainty. And then there are the non-moves, the ones fans feel in their bones. A short-money veteran edge rusher signing across the league that could have given you a third and long closer. A proven rotational tackle who could have eaten snaps while your rookie learns. A power back to pair with Swift for cold weather football. None of those missed opportunities are fatal alone. Together, they scream hesitation, and hesitation is kryptonite when you're trying to change a culture. So here's the real news, and I'm putting it plainly. Despite the July extension lining up the GM with the head coach through 2029, the seat is hot, and there is real belief inside league circles that Kevin Warren will not treat contract years as a seatbelt if performance and process don't converge fast. Fact, the extension is signed. Fact, the record is the record. Fact, the drafts and deals are what they are. Speculation, that Warren would make a leadership change in season if this spiral deepens and the offense's development stalls. Speculation, that conversations would happen with the head coach before anything seismic, because this is about alignment, not scapegoats. The only thing that cools the chair is winning football and visible growth in the players the GM chose. What does a real fix look like right now this week, not next March? 1. Ruthless role clarity. If a young corner is bleeding explosives, protect him with leverage answers and safety brackets, not pride. 2. Invest in your QB survival. Protection help on obvious pass downs, tempo to simplify looks, and a quick game menu that steals rhythm before the rush arrives. 3. Recenter DJ Moore and Rome as co-engines, not alternate weak features. 4. Weaponize Swift and the screen game against aggression. Force defenses to run through traffic and be wrong in space. 5. On defense, buy yourself a closer with a street-smart edge signing if one exists. This locker room needs someone who ends drives on third down, so the offense gets extra turns to grow dot process dash-wise. The GM must narrow the miss zone. Hit rate in the top 100 has to climb, and developmental bets cannot clog roster arteries. If you're drafting traits, you better be stacking snaps. If you're trading picks, the player must change Sundays, not just headlines. If you're paying veterans, usage must match the check. Let me hand the mic to you, Bears fans. Because this city's football IQ is elite. Do you ride out the season with the current structure and judge in January? Or do you believe an in-season front office reset would unlock urgency and accountability now? What's your bar record by the by? Division games won, offensive EPA trend, defensive pressure rate. Drop your threshold and your plan below. Be specific. This isn't a vibe check. It's a franchise test, my opinion. You don't fire a GM for the dopamine hit. You fire a GM if the process that created this record shows no evidence it can fix itself under the current alignment. The extension bought stability, not immunity. Set public, measurable checkpoint snap share for rookies. Clean pocket rate for your QB, explosive differential. Division win column and demand movement by the bye and again by Thanksgiving. If the arrows stay flat or point down, Kevin Warren owes the locker room bold action. If they point up real growth, real wins, then you've justified the alignment and earned the right to add, not blow up. Either way, the standard cannot be vibes. It has to be outcomes. Chicago deserves nothing less.